You buddies. Oh shit. Oh shit.
What's up, everybody? Welcome. What happened, bud? What were you doing behind cameras?
I forgot my headphones.
You forgot your headphones. And I'm listening to the show double. I'm like, oh shit, sorry.
Yeah, I'm like somebody's
my screen back here.
Like somebody's stuff is going off twice, and that's me.
And me too. I had back here in my screen, I had it playing. I forgot to mute it.
My bad. What's up, people?
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another Two Trends to Miss. I'm gonna set the BP live show. Missed that.
Old school. That's old school, bro. It's old school.
Yes, the beginnings. So yeah, we got a important show for you guys. If you're watching this, please just share. Hit the share. If you're watching it on one of our sister pages, you can't share. You gotta go to either YouTube or our page, Two Trends and Misfits on Facebook.
No.
All right, and just share it and bring in as many people as we can. We're gonna have two guests. We have two guests to talk about certain things about transit. And but before we do, we got a little good news coming up. Blunt, you want to take that?
Very good news for the shout out to the Latinos in the building, man. We got a sister Latina, Celia. I got to say it right. Celia Cruz. Celia Cruz. She's right.
Azúcar.
The Queen of Salsa. She is being nominated, but she's being honored by the U.S. Mint to be the first Afro-Caribbean woman to get her own coin. That is definitely what's up.
It would have been nice if she got it while she was alive.
Well, you know, these things take time. I mean, you have to build a rapport. And she's among 5 others. She's among 5 that's getting not nominated, honored. Just getting honored. Patsy Takamoto Mink is one of them. She's the first woman of color to hold on. Let me show you who she is. Patsy. There you go. You got it? Yep. She's the first woman of color to serve in Congress as a member of Congress. She fought for gender and racial equality and affordable child care and bilingual education, most notably with the passage of the Title IX. I think that's 9, right? The I and X. I don't know my Roman numerals.
Yeah, that's 9.
9, which was later renamed the Patsy Teaming Equal Opportunity in Education Act. So that's one. Then you also have Dr. Mary Edwards Walker, who was a Civil War era surgeon, women's rights advocate, and a abolitionist. I don't know what that means. Somebody tell me what that means. Walker often crossed battle lines to care for wounded soldiers captured by the Confederate troops as a suspected spy, and she was held as a prisoner of war for months. Now, Walker was the only woman to be awarded the Medal of Honor. Wow, that's what's up. Then you have Pauli Murray, who was a poet, a writer, activist, a lawyer.
Wait, that's the wrong name, right?
Pauli.
You don't have a Pauli there.
No. I don't have Pauli up there?
Nope.
Pauli is let me see. No, yeah, this is Pauli. I put Mary. It's Pauli. I put Mary there. That's Pauli. No. I don't have Paulie. All right, I know.
No, Paulie.
No, Paulie's up there. I don't have Paulie up there. Hold on. But Paulie was a poet, a writer, activist, a lawyer, Episcopal, Espical. I don't know. A priest. She was a priest. I don't know how to say it. As well as a staunch advocate for civil rights, fighting against racial and sex discrimination. In 1966, she co-founded the National Organization for Women with Betty Friedan and other activists. Mary was regarded as one of the most important social justice advocates of her time. Oh no, I got a. I don't know why I don't have a. I have it right here. Let me just pull her up. Why is she not there?
Because you forgot to put her up.
Oh my god. Okay, I'll make sure we get a picture of her before we close the show. Because I do have it.
And the last one you got there?
That one is oh, I'm gonna mess this up, but it's Zitkala Sai. Zitkala Sai, which
Zitkala.
which means Redbird. But she's also known as Gertrude Simmons Bonin, who was a writer, composer, education, and political activist for Native Americans' right to United States citizenship and other civil rights they have long been denied. So she left her South Dakota home on the Yucatan Reservation at the age of 8 to attend a boarding school run by white missionaries where her native culture and traditions were prohibited. And then Southern Cruz joins them, was a Cuban American singer, culture icon, and one of the most popular Latino artists of the 20th century, known as the Queen of Salsa. Cruz's numerous honors and awards include 5 Grammy Awards, the National Medal of Honor, posthumous Lifetime Achievement Grammy. All those women are going to be honored with a coin of their own. So
Beautiful, beautiful.
shout out to the women doing a thing.
By the way, abolish is to either end a practice or an
Abolitionist.
institution, to put an end
there
to
we go.
something.
Abolitionist. Okay. Okay. So I guess I'm an abolitionist too.
You're going to put an end to the show. All right, so we should get on with it.
Yes,
we got two
jump
guests.
into it.
We're not gonna have
got
room
two
for too
guests,
much stuff.
yeah.
So let's just get into it. We're gonna start
So-
with go ahead.
No, I'm just saying just for the guests that are coming in, this particular segment that we're about to jump into is gonna be a lot of transit business. So just a little warning there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And once more, I know we put it up at the beginning of the show, but because we got to cover ourselves all the time. Once more, let's put this up.
Yep.
And with that said, we're going to bring in our first guest, Mr. Rob Whittaker. Rob Whittaker. What's up?
What up, Whittaker?
You muted yourself, Rob.
Okay. Now we
All
can
right.
talk.
So welcome back to the show, Rob.
How are you? What's doing?
Well, good.
I told you I'd come on after the general membership meeting.
Right. So let's start with that. What do you have for us with that? What kind of news happened? Let me just ask you a couple of things. Since I didn't make it, I didn't go, but I heard number one. I heard everybody was talking about. Yeah, there was just no way I could make it. Everybody was talking about get your things together. Even people were telling me, hey, there's things that you want to talk about, bring them up there so you could speak up. Everybody that wanted to go speak up and about issues or whatever, go there. And I heard that didn't happen. That there was no open mic, that nobody was able to talk about anything.
Really? Wow.
So with that said, go ahead, continue. I just wanted to put that out there because it's like, again, it was like a waste of time for anybody that wanted to go there and express their feelings about issues with transit and then not get the chance to do it, which is kind
that
of
wasn't on the agenda.
It was part of it. I mean, we were being told that if you want to go out there to, that you're going to have a chance to speak up about your issues.
Yeah, you know what? I think that they did that because they didn't want to hear, especially what was addressed by Samuelson and Davis. They really put their foot in their mouth, which you guys will find out over the next couple of weeks as the union prepares for a contract fight. But one of the things that they were talking about that was put in there was Samuelson was talking about trying to amend the Taylor law. One of the links I sent to you was the ILO decision from 2011, which the union has had in their possession for God almost 12 years now, and nothing has ever been done with this. There was an internal fight back then between James Little and James Samuelson when he was the international president as to how to tackle the T.W.U. So you guys have that. If you want, in your new group, in the new group that you just formed, I'll put all these up there so everybody can look at them.
Okay. Okay. Great.
So, because that's unfortunately something they're going to need to know about after they hear. I know there was a e-board meeting this morning that lasted 4 hours. And
Really?
it lasted from 7 in the morning to 11 in the morning. I think Aaron's going to tell you that too, but I know it started way early this morning. And they're preparing for war. The
So
MTA is not budging.
For
The
those
MTA is not going to budge.
Rob, for those who may not know what the T.W.U. was, can you just give us a quick scoop on that?
Basically, as a part of the T.W.U., we're a public sector union. We're not allowed to strike. And if we do strike, we pay 2 days' pay for every day we're out.
Okay. And so the union has a way to try to...
After 2005, which we struck,
Yeah.
there was a big thing fighting here with the International Labor Organization saying that for them to fine us, to punish us for maintaining control of our own work, they found that it was wrong for them to do that. And
Well, hold on 1 second, Whittaker. 1 second, Whittaker. Blunt. I'm thinking that since it's going to be a back and forth, and a lot of what Whittaker might say or other guests might say, maybe we should bring them both up. What do you think?
Yeah. Okay.
And that way, everybody has a chance to say whatever and not cut in, and then we have to worry about time. So we're just going to bring our second guest right in now. This is our Jackie Gleason Depot chairperson, Mr. Aaron Vasquez. Welcome, Mr. Aaron Vasquez, to the show.
What's good,
What's up,
Aaron?
Good evening, everyone.
All right.
All
Let's
right,
get it
so-
popping. Ding, ding, ding.
So go ahead, Whittaker, continue, and that way, if Mr. Vasquez has to jump in and say something about whatever Whittaker is saying.
Just bear with me. I'm having audio issue. I can't really hear. It's really low through my phone.
Okay,
So I'm going to try to hear everything's being said.
Okay.
But the stuff that was said at the general membership meeting in regards to the T.W.U., the union's been sitting on the ILO decision for almost 12 years. And apparently now they're either going to take aggressive action to try to combat the T.W.U., especially with us now going into a contract fight. You should have been doing this beforehand. That goes back to my last meeting where there was a failure of leadership on both the international and the local to do their due diligence to try to help put us in a better position. But it is what it is now. But I think I tried to see you earlier, Aaron, to say the meeting turned out to be 4 hours long. That e-board meeting.
You're right. It makes you a little nervous and wondering, but there's a lot that's going to come out from what I understand from the meeting. It's just basically preparation. Truth be told, I've been through several contracts, and this is taking me back to the time we struck the last time.
Well,
I mean, it's
looking similar.
It's really looking ugly, and that's an important. Like I was telling Mr. Whittaker earlier today, and yourself, Pete, that the junior operators and the newer operators get very involved because this is their future. They got to learn from this, take whatever us old timers have to put into this, and run with it because this is very important to them, and that's one of the major reasons why we want a lot of them to go to Labor Day. It's very, very vital. This fight is not going to be lay down and just we give up. No, we're not fight. If you think about inflation costs throughout the past few years, you think about us putting our necks out on the line during COVID and then some. What we're dealing with now, which I call post-COVID, where people are just angry. We have a lot of assaults, a lot of things going on. People just doing some really odd and out of character things for them to just be thinking, well, the usual, like Samuelson said at the mass meeting, they always cry broke, but this time they're really broke. Like we want to hear that? We didn't want to hear that. What
I don't
kind of
think
encouragement is that?
anybody on the top of the union should be. It's like they're siding with MTA. But let
Correct.
me
You
ask
had to
you.
see how the room went into an uproar. It was like, what? You crazy?
Let me
This ain't
ask
gonna
you, since
happen.
you're saying all
So
this thing that we got a big fight and all that we have coming up. How are the top four thinking about this? What are they behaving? Because we don't hear anything. I mean, I haven't heard anything about. I heard from you today, but JP.
well, today
our new president. What are they saying about this?
Today we were supposed to have Shopgate. The division was going to come down, but unfortunately, the president called for this emergency e-board meeting at 7 a.m., which
That's
is
what
very
Whittaker was talking
strange.
about?
So, say again?
That's what Whittaker was talking about, correct?
Yeah, that's what Whittaker was talking about.
Yeah.
So we had to cancel our Shopgate where we're going to get more information. So our Shopgate, I told if we could have it for next Wednesday after the division meeting, which I hope a lot of you attend. This is very important. It's time to put our demands out there and not stupid little things, major things that are going to affect us long term. We have to discuss and put it out there, let the division know to bring it up to the top four. But as far as I know, from the top four that we have, I haven't heard anything myself. Division is, we don't know. We know as a unit, we got to fight. And we got to fight together, not apart, not this one over here, that one over there, together, because that's the only way we're going to get anything done.
Which is kind of the slates, if we want to bring it up that way. The slates, the different slates that we have, that they seem to be running against each other. And it's time for everybody to just put bygone be bygones. That's it. I mean, everybody that got voted in is already voted in. That's over. Now it's time to just get together and work. Like I've seen you working with some of the guys that were, kind of having issues with you in the beginning, and that's a good thing. Because when it comes down to it, it's the top four, and then the rest of the leadership that has to be together in order to get the troops together. Because some people say, "No, you guys got to do this." But me and all these other operators, workers trying to do something, nothing gets done unless the ones on the top push for it. So we could talk and concern ourselves and yell about shit and turn blue in the face and talk about all the changes we want. But if those guys on top don't agree with us and don't step forward and say, let's get this done together, if they don't do nothing, we're screwed.
But we also have to always remember, we are the union. It's each individual of this mass is the union. And we can hold fire to the feet of those that are supposed to be representing us. We got to just push. So if we come as a unit and we ask, work with us on this. Let's show transit this is what we mean. We got to stick together. It can't be about me. Oh, I can't because I need to make a phone call. I have to hurry up to get to the end of the line. I have to do this. All these things have to be pushed aside. We have until May. May, our contract is over. That gives us what, 3 months?
So like this Facebook user said, if there was going to be a fight, it would have started already. Yes or no? It should have started already, not wait till it's 3 months.
It should have. By now, we're behind the 8 ball. By now, the demand should have been put out. They should have canvassed the depots, have us, the chairman, bring out the forms. What are your important aspects? What do you want? What do you feel is important to you and your family? As a unit, what's important to us? Longer swing times, right? Other swing rooms, rest areas that are clean and safe for us to use. There's so many things but if you're only going to think with the dollar, everything else is going to fall apart. Yes, we deserve a fair and good increase in our wage. We just had a raise, right? What was it? 2.47%, something like that? 2.475, something like that?
2.75.
Right. Okay. And now they want to give us 2% again? Are we going to take that?
That's what they're asking. That's what they want to give us.
That's what's floating. Right? What is the inflation rate right now?
Okay. Well, I'll give you that number. Since May of 2019 till this last January, the inflation rate for New York is 14.41%.
There you go.
So we're now almost 5% behind for the current contract. So I don't envy those in the top four that have to sit across and say, yeah, we're not taking 222s. That would only cover not even the gap from last contract.
Funny, when the minimum wage went up, what was it? It was like $8 an hour. Minimum went up to 15. What was that, like 80% that it went up?
Yeah.
But if I'm
And for
not
those
mistaken,
workers, minimum wage went up for those workers,
Right.
and we're
Right.
still at 2% as an increase. That's a
how
slap
much
in the
did
face.
eggs go up?
Wasn't that like 80% from $8 to 15?
Right, something to that effect. Yes,
Yeah, like
statewide.
80%.
But
Yeah.
let's bring it down. How much has the eggs, your dozen of eggs, how much has the eggs have increased?
Oh man, they were like some places were over $8, over $8.
Right?
Yeah, they just recently started to go down by like a buck, which is still too
It's
much.
ridiculous. Come on now, how 2% is like here's a drop in the bucket. Now you figure it out.
And when you take out, because the taxes, the things that come out of our check, right?
It's not really at 2%, really. When you think
we wonder what is it like? I believe like 72 cents.
If you're lucky.
Cents.
So again,
when
yes,
it gets
we deserve
taxed, on top of the union dues also that's still coming out, what are we left with? We're left with nothing.
That's the point. So this is where I say, as a chairman, not only am I speaking to representatives of my depot, we got to bond together. I'm talking mass, all of us, and unite RTO, MOU, everybody. We all got to be together, all of us, to get something done. All right. The rally is just the first step, and that step, to be honest, I feel the junior men and our newer operators should take very high interest in that. And we have a women's committee at the depot now. I've put them in charge of rounding up that group. Everybody with Tuesdays off. Round them up. Let's get their names on paper. Soon we're gonna, like we were talking, Pete, I'm gonna get the forms so we can fill them out and get those buses loaded heading up to Albany. But that's just a part of it. What happens on the field? Like if we go back a couple of years, I remember the union hit Fulton Street Mall. I don't know if you all remember that. They went down there, tell everybody slow down, drive slow through the mall, blah, 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 blah.
Vision Zero.
It screwed up everything. Vision Zero, remember?
See, Vasquez, here you are telling all this stuff, but we're not hearing nothing from these people on top. Just like the last meeting, that meeting that, what was it? That last meeting that we were talking about it, that where were they? Why were they not going depot to depot, garage to garage, telling everybody, listen, this date is coming. Make sure you could make it. Make sure you and push the membership to go. Nowhere. They weren't nowhere.
Well, to be frank, and to be honest,
your job?
the division has been going depot to depot. We were next online today.
Coming. For this one that's
Say
coming.
Again?
For this one that's coming.
Right.
But not for the past one.
No.
Right.
No.
That's what I'm talking about. That last one that happened, they were not going depot to depot saying nothing.
Right.
So I guess word got out, and now that this one is coming up, now they started to get all right. Okay. Well, that's a good move. That's a good move.
Like I said, we were supposed to have it today. Unfortunately, it got stopped because of the executive meeting. But we are going to do it next Wednesday, God willing, at our depot. The division's going to come. They'll speak. They're going to we're going to find out what happened in this e-board meeting. That's for sure. And where are we? Where are we right now? And how are we going to get it together to get what we need?
You couldn't be there at the meeting?
Say again?
You couldn't be there at the meeting, at the e-board?
No, I'm not on the e-board. I'm not on the e-board. I'm not privy to that.
Okay. The e-boards are not open. They used to be open to the public, to the membership. They did away with that. Was it half a dozen years ago, maybe? Where that you're not allowed to attend the e-board meetings, which to me is insane. You should be able to
we have some people in our depot that are on the e-board, right? So were they there?
I do.
They had to be there.
I do actually know, in fact, that they were there.
Okay, so maybe we don't have to wait till Wednesday to get this info, Aaron.
True.
You know,
True,
or,
but in
or,
truth,
or are they
in
held that
truth,
they can't say nothing till the meeting?
well, remember, we have the meeting Tuesday. Our division meeting is Tuesday.
Okay.
So if everyone who's listening from our area here goes to the meeting, they're going to get a jump on it too. They're going to be able to hear. Yeah, we're going to find out on our own. You know that, Pete. You know that, Rob. We'll find out. But we need everybody at the meetings, not just 25 people and 50 crickets. We need them all in the meeting, because to come out of the meeting, we know we were there, and you go to the next depot and you hear them talking, but why weren't you talking in the hall? Why wouldn't you come down and let yourself be heard? Oh, nobody's going to pay attention to us. What you talking about? Come through. This is a new union, right? New division. Come through. Get your words spoken and be heard.
Like Blunt has
And
said
as you
sometime
know,
in the past that
right.
sometimes
As you
one
know,
person has an issue, but there'll be like 100 others that feel the same way. So why not speak up?
right.
You know,
Right.
and maybe you'll get other people to wake up and be like, yeah, me too. Yeah, me too. I feel the same way, you know. And
yeah, we can have another Me Too youth movement.
Israel swing room lawyers. Exactly. Thank you, Israel.
Say no more.
I mean, unless they're involved, because then we're all going to get screwed. From young to old, this is going to affect those that are going to retire soon. And because I'm hearing now that they want to change the health benefits, but they've always been wanting to change that. But in regards to that, when they were talking about changing the health benefits, I know the city just had a recent city council hearing that they're trying to do to all the city unions, force them to buy into the exchange themselves. They're not. It's not going to be a paid through the city. Whatever it's going to be figured in, and you're going to, I think, have to go and figure out your health care. I think that if that was in regards to a lot of the city unions, well, the state's going to follow what the city union does. I mean, unfortunately, when I heard they were trying to change the healthcare, that's a no go. We've no offense, I think more than earned that healthcare. You ain't gonna do if anybody that's currently here.
Well, what if they just want to change it? What happens?
Well, they can change it, but they can change service providers all the time. But they got to maintain a set service level. You know, when they've changed what pharmacy companies all the time. They've changed healthcare companies from GHI to.
But can they take stuff out that we already have, or they can't?
They're gonna try to do that in the contract negotiations. They're gonna want something.
They could always add.
Because that's going to cost them, unfortunately. So they're not going to. You're not going to. We want them to add, but that's not going to be the case. Especially when we're going to want some money.
The way transit operates is for every little thing we want and they're willing to give, they're going to want availability. That's their key. Availability. Our people being available to work. Not we like our depot, what we 710 ops, and it would be short 100 almost half the year. So, okay, we'll give you this, but you got to make sure you got to have 100% operation, period. That's all they worry about. And then their cost savings. So, like I said on my audio on our WhatsApp group, Pete, the senior guys got to worry about it because it could affect your benefits, right? Junior men got to worry about it because they're the next in line to be senior operators and lead the group. Rookie operators need to follow suit so they could join the junior operators in that fight, especially for tier 6. Tier 6 is, my gosh, it's horrible.
No, you don't think that? I'm wondering, these guys in tier 6, these new guys, they might get to the point that they're new. They see how screwed up it is. They want to go take the test and become dispatcher.
Well, that's evident. We just had the OA test, right?
Yeah, and they're not even worried about, the tier 6. It's like, screw this.
I'll give you a number just from our depot. Give you a number just from Gleason. Both days, Saturday, Sunday, total combined, 146 people took that test.
146.
That's just my depot, our depot.
Yeah, they're probably thinking. I said this tier 6 is garbage.
But not only that, I think that tier 6 is going to follow them anyway because they
Yeah, I think it does.
Yeah, it does. So that doesn't matter. But
Oh, it does.
Yeah,
Do
absolutely.
they become a
You do that, like,
dispatcher? Isn't
yes,
that a different?
They don't have a
union?
different pension.
No, they don't. They keep their same pension. It just rolls up. So
All right.
they're trying to run from tier 6. It's going to follow them anyway. But also, and I think I was saying this the other day. You know what? When they're all going to go to dispatcher, eventually at some point when they go to full automation, and they're going to get rid of a lot of dispatchers or stop hiring dispatchers at some point. Because a lot of it's going to be done via the command center or the war room, as we call it. So much for that. They're only going to have very few dispatchers out there. Everything is going to be done via computer, via the new radio system. So they're not. You may get right now here, but if they have too many of them, they're really going to be at the bottom. They're going to be basically stuck at the bottom anyway, because those dispatchers are not going to go anywhere.
Right.
So they got to keep that in. They got to keep that in mind. But I mean, I think I gave. I said, Pete. When the new contract comes out, because we still got a couple months left. I'm pretty sure that
3 months.
Exactly. The CPI is going to change. The MTA is going to hope it's going to go down, but it's not going to go down. It's already been going up. Like I said, 14.41. I gave you that so that you guys could post it everywhere, so that people can do their own calculations. Don't trust if you don't think you don't trust what the numbers are. Go. I gave you the formula. It's on the was it slide 6 or slide 7. It says how to calculate the CPI index. And they can do that on their own. Don't trust if they don't trust right now current leadership. Guys, go check it out for yourself. I think I gave you also here tactics, campaign tactics for during contract negotiations.
We put up pages that are not those.
I'm sorry?
We put up some pages that are not the ones you're mentioning.
Sure did, right?
But I mean, I'll post those in the group so that you guys can feed them out everywhere. But
see an overview of the art, craft of bargaining.
Okay, well, that's the art of bargaining. Yeah. I actually learned all that in Cornell Labor Relations.
Are you talking about calculating changes in consumer prices? Is
correct. Yes, that's what consumer price index. That's how you figure out inflation. Okay. So it's basically you minus the new number versus the old number. The difference between the two is you divide that by the old number. Right? Exactly. That's right here. That right there. If you follow the steps, you can figure out the CPI index for yourself. Don't trust me or anybody else. It's right there for you to do. But like I said, I just literally did the last because the January number wasn't out originally. Before we were supposed to get on, it was like 12 and change. Now it's 14.41. So what is it going to be, 15 or 16 by May? And on this last contract. So we're already 6 or 7% in the hole. And they were, okay, 2, 2, and 2. Okay, there's the gap. So we're still at the bottom. Never mind, it's just crazy. But I also said
we were throwing numbers around at a meeting we were in the other day, and the reality is, yeah, we could go high, like everybody is supposed to go high and let them work us down. But what's our number? Where do we cut off where we have to react? You know what I'm saying? Are we going to accept 5, 5, 5, and 5? If is that our number to get us somewhere closer to where we're supposed to be?
What's the highest we ever had that you remember? Since Tucson.
You may have had a couple.
Dude, I really don't remember so many of them.
You may have had a couple of 4s and a couple of 5s, if I remember correctly.
I think we had a couple of 4s and maybe some 3s. Back in
3s. That's all I remember.
I don't even remember. What did we get for the strike? I don't remember that. That's how
think
far
We
that
got
back I can
screwed.
remember.
That's what we got for the strike. We
I
got
think
Well,
that was
yeah,
the
literally.
threes.
I got 3 days bad time to make up.
three days out there, and then we got thrown under the bus and lost so much.
Well, we got 3
No,
days frozen out there, if you
It
remember.
was
we lost our
brick.
Christmas
was
time
brick.
when we
It
could go
was
on
brick.
strike during the Christmas holiday. We lost that. That was like
Right, we gave that up. We had right there.
biggest.
You had them. You gave it up for the unborn. Remember?
Yeah.
I
Well, the
remember because I was a
unborn
rookie.
is our rookies now and our juniors. So we gave up for you guys. Now it's your time to step up. Let's
Me
go.
too, Blunt. I had only 4 years, and I was already on strike. I was like, oh, I was so
I
worried.
had months. I had months in. So I'm like, what do I do?
Don't you dare walk into those gates.
No,
you
Mobley
didn't
and them
walk
said,
into
"Go
those
upstairs."
gates.
They send me upstairs. They said, "Nah, you can't be out here because they said we don't have control over it. Zariga still owns us."
Oh,
Go
you was
upstairs.
Proby.
I
Yeah.
was probing.
You couldn't get involved.
I went upstairs. I went right back downstairs. I said, nope, because there was people upstairs. There was actually people who were on the job. They was upstairs.
Yeah,
I was like,
they were
nope,
sneaking in through the backside.
I was like, I don't want to be talking with none of them scabs.
I know there was a nice list up in the union office.
Oh yeah,
You remember
I
that scab
I
list?
remember that.
There was a scab list up there for everyone to see.
Yep.
I remember that.
But again, it's like I just said. It's like I said. That strike, Tucson called. We're fighting for the unborn. A lot of us looked at us like, "What the hell is that?" Well,
Do you
in my
think-
eyes, the unborn are the junior and rookie men now. It's their time to step up and fight
you
the way
kinda-
we did for them to get into this job now. Remember, everything we've all came in place. There was someone before us opening other doors and other avenues, right? We did it then. We took the hit. Now it's their time to join us and fight for the next unborn.
What do you think the chances are of actually getting the members together enough to go on an actual strike? Percentage-wise.
Well, you can remember it's roughly every 20 years something like that happens, and we're nearby. We're at 18 years now.
Let's say it comes to our leadership.
I do it.
It's who's leading us.
Listen.
Because we could all be ready for it, but unless it comes from the top, nothing's gonna happen. Because I'm sure they come from the top and they start going depot to depot and start asking, you down. There probably will be a huge amount of people.
Yeah,
that'll
but,
be like,
the thing here is you can't annex them on TA property because they might consider, if somebody gets wind of that, they might try to say that we're violating the Taylor law.
Right.
Yeah, but you know what? There's other ways without even going into strike. There's just like Aaron has mentioned it many times. All we got to do is follow the rules, like really follow the rules. Really follow the rules.
Yes,
One of the things is the big problem is our paddles. If we were to just follow our paddles, or not even the paddles, the speed limit.
Speed limit.
If most of us were to just stick to following the speed limit and stay under the speed limit, everything would be slowed down for sure. And every single line, every route will be running late,
And they can't call it a job action.
Correct.
No.
Absolutely.
That's the key.
Because we're doing what we're supposed to do.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And they told us in the beginning. I remember being told in the beginning, before I got behind the wheel, your license is your livelihood, protected at all costs.
Yes.
So why am I going to be going over the speed limit? I'm actually speeding. I mean, right now, us old school, we're like 25 miles an hour speeding. Not a joke, but yeah, if we're going over 25 miles an hour, in some part 30, but we're speeding.
Come on, let's put this in perspective. 15 to 20 miles per hour. Stop. Kneel your bus properly. One bus per bus stop. The other one has to wait. Wait till the elderly sit and safely are seated, and then pull away. You know how much time you just wasted there? Easy, like 3-4 minutes.
1 or 2 head
and then everybody follow that. Right now, the other guy who was waiting for you, now he pulls in, does the same exact thing. And the key line to that, like I've been saying, was the B68. Okay, back in '95 when I used to do the 68, We had
Russian
so much
Express.
layover time over there. So much. And your leader, you could see him 2 blocks up and he wasn't even running. We were all just chilling out. But the problem is they got how many speed cameras on that route now? I think 6, maybe 8.
Yeah.
So
I was just there a couple of weeks ago. I was like, you can't. I don't even know where they're at. So I'm staying at 20. I'm staying at 20 the whole way. I had
Okay,
2
so
buses pass me. And I'm like, why? Like, why?
I did.
And they still
hawk.
making the time. That's the thing. How can you still? Because they know where the cameras are. They know where the cameras are. So in between that, they're like, camera. Camera. You know? So it's like,
So imagine I did a hawk. I had nobody on my bus. I'm just going down the line, chilling, take a look at my paddle. How am I 20 minutes late?
On the Hawk, yeah, the Hawk, you gotta have lead feet on the Hawk.
Oh yeah.
There you go. So then
feet.
they're forcing you to break the rules they created, and then they're gonna write you up when they catch you.
Well, if you think about it, the MTA is already planned. The MTA is already planned for that, because first of all, the city is going to decrease the speed again. There's a bill in the state legislature that, if passed, the city is going to drop the speed limit to 20.
So that means we drive 10.
Well, that's first off. But if you look at the bus redesign, one of the pages on here, it says to them, decreased running time. Okay.
Decreased running time.
Good luck on that one.
Decreased.
That's the wrong
decreased
word.
running time.
That's how they're gonna.
That's how they're making all these. They're making all these changes in the bus redesign because they want you to go faster, so they can cover more trips with the same amount of people.
I know that they removed some stops, so that should in itself decrease some of the time, but that doesn't seem like enough to decrease the time, especially if they're going to lower the speed limit.
They still probably won't fix the paddles either.
No,
those
they're
paddles
not going
will still
to.
be the same. They'll take the stop off the paddle, but they'll probably still keep the same time, the same running time.
It's unfortunate that, you know what, one of the flyers that I gave you was campaign actions. Guess what? We can do that ourselves. We don't need that for leadership to do. You know what? You're going to have line stewards. You're going to have shop stewards. Okay, there you go. Campaign tactics. Guess what? There you go. Right out of the horse's mouth. But you got to be clever at it. You know what? It's called slow down for safety. Can't say anything else. It's got to be, I'm slowing down to be safe. I'm slowing down to be
maybe
safe.
If we hit one, or Aaron has spoken about it too, like just hit one route a day, like, you know, on the hush, just go to each route. Listen, you're on this route today, you're staying under the speed limit, and have guys out there. They'll be like, yo, what are you doing? You're ahead of schedule. Relax.
Right, maybe you could talk to your line stewardess and some of your union what they call it, shop stewardess too.
Well,
and let them know, like you pick a line, like you said, you pick a line, it's pay like the 68.
Yeah.
I've been saying to the division reps forever that they're now behind the game because they're just trying to get their division stewards lined up, which I'm one of them, but they tried to reinvent the wheel. Okay.
Like I heard they did stop that program for a while.
But they're trying to relaunch it, but now it's already too. You know what? We're gonna need them anyway. But stop trying to reinvent the wheel. Improve the wheel. Fix what was wrong with it, which means the stewards were used as political pawns in nonsense, and that's what became distorted. But you should have already had your stewards already set to go. Okay, I'm going here. This is what we as stewards. Okay, you know what, Aaron? What line do you want us to go hit today? We're all going to use our time, and we're going to go hit a line. What line do you want us to hit first?
How many does Gleason currently have now? How many stewards?
As far as stewards, like line stewards, we don't have any. We have I have a few guys who are reliable, like Mr. Washington, who's steady on the 61. He comes back to me feedback there. But I am lining up for the stewards for the next pick. So during the pick, we're going to be getting people. But in the same time, on my audios in the morning, I'm always saying if there's an issue on the road, bring it straight to the office. I take a walk down the hall, I go to road, and I say, this is what's going on over here. How do you need to address it? So
let me ask
with
you
this situation, I would do my usual morning 3 in the morning blast when I'm on my way to work. I like, fellas, you're going to see us on the 68. We're going to ask you to stay in the speed limit, our speed limit, 20 miles per hour. And I'll have another person down the road. Same thing, remind it, keep it here, keep it here.
Maybe
so we
one
keep
at
it
each
slow.
end,
and you'll see everybody bunching up.
Yeah.
But like I said, you had plenty of shop stewards that want help. I know for a fact that there are.
Especially if you spread them like a line every day, you'll have enough to be out there and make sure that nobody goes over it.
So per depot, like say Gleason has what, 16 lines? How many lines at Gleason?
I don't remember now.
Yeah.
Like 16 lines. So you're supposed to have what, one
The
shop
problem
steward
is
per
to
line?
get everybody on the same. Say again?
Are you supposed to have, or is it supposed to be like one shop steward per line or two shop stewards?
Yeah, one line steward per line. Well, you could use one.
Steward.
I was going to try to utilize 2 AM, PM,
right,
but you basically use one.
Okay.
Right.
And right now you have none, so that's something to look. I mean, you can't worry about what happened in the past. So you can just go do now is build
right. So like I said, we tried it before. We used to put the people's face on the board over there by the corner, so everybody knows.
Yeah, that was funny when they had the faces there, and some of them retired, and we still had their faces.
Yeah. So now the way I want to do it on this upcoming pick,
you have everybody's number, yes or no? Aaron, you have everybody's number from the depot, right?
Hold on, say again. I can't hear you.
You have everybody's number in the depot.
Basically, yeah. If I don't, Nick or Ebony does.
So if you could actually do that through text, right? Like let's say today, okay, next week the B8, and you hit everybody that's on the B8 with a text.
Well, that's what the WhatsApp is. I have over 500 people in that app right now, 600.
Okay.
And they only take X amount, so I have 2. You have Jackie Gleason 1 and 2, but they all get the same broadcast. I just copy it over. So in the AM, like I said, when I'm like you see my this morning I did one about last night's interesting thing with the superintendents down in the yard, but I put it out first thing in the morning. This is what they're doing. This is what they're looking for. They're going to do it again. Okay, so I would come out and say, okay, look, as per the conversation I may have had with the division, we're gonna be on this line. And this is what we're expecting. Work with us to make send a message. We're not breaking any rules. We're actually following the rules.
Following the rules.
That's it.
Now, with that said, you also, like we've talked about the windshields. I just want to talk about it real quick with that. We could refuse it.
If you can't see out those windows, absolutely.
Like when we just had a little bit of snow, all the windshields, like they were like relief. And I've been doing it myself. Truth is, because I started saying, listen, if I start knocking down buses, the whole row of buses were nasty, the windshields. So I'm to the point, like I don't want to be the only one that everybody's gonna start coming at me.
Right. You don't want to see like the odd man out.
Yeah. So what I do, I got my own Windex and I start cleaning my own windshields. But this morning I was like, I'm going to knock down the bus. I got the bus is clean. That's it.
Guess what?
All right.
But in truth and in short, when was the last time we seen a 19A done by the division?
It's been a while, but I think there's a form that everybody needs to learn here, the safety resolution form. If they try
we've known about that one.
If your bus is not safe for you to take out, period. Wheel tag, your windshields, you can't see. Guess what?
Kemp brought that up at one point that he was getting
during the curtain issue.
Yeah, he was like the first one from our depot.
He got some heat for that. Yeah.
But
some heat for that.
Well, the same thing with us, Pete. We had an operator who kept knocking buses down because of the flags. He was listening to what I was saying. Next thing I know, the general manager's in the depot looking at the buses. Why are these flags like this? And he got in on maintenance and everything got fixed. Now you barely see a bus now with a missing flag. They all properly seated the way they're supposed to be.
Last year when I started bitching about it here with Blunt on the show about the windshields, and that I don't know if that I was told that that's maintenance, that it's not on us. And I was asking, do you have anybody that could clean the windshield? And it's maintenance. So we brought that up, saying it's maintenance. And then for a few weeks after that, like windshields were getting clean, right? And then an operator came up to me during those weeks and said, listen, somebody's looking for you in maintenance. I said, what do you mean? I go, yeah, they one of them that he says he knows really close came up to me. I was like, yo, who's Brooklyn Pete? So he told me, yo, be on the lookout because somebody's looking for you. They're saying that, who is Brooklyn Pete? Who's Brooklyn Pete? And I'm like, I'm right here. I mean, but you know, I guess that's something that everybody that we could all do.
Listen,
You know,
how many times I talk about the seatbelts, the tied seatbelts?
yeah. Finally, it's like
seatbelts.
we don't really see it as much.
Those
as
are safety issues. You do not have to take that bus out if you can't get it out. If you can't untie it or get those transfers out of it, that bus is dead. Don't even bother with it.
We shouldn't even
get the next bus.
That's taken from the time that we have to pull the bus out.
Exactly.
Doing the pre-trip. Now you got to take a couple minutes to do that. And I'm like, screw that. I'm not doing it.
You know what? And another way we heard them here is on your second half. Don't go down to the pull-out shack, the yard shack before you're supposed to. Stop giving them time. You know
Stop
what?
giving them time. That's something they got to work out in the contract now. If our meal is done at 2:30, you're expected at 2:40 pull out on your second half. Give that window just like the morning in the afternoon. Stop going down there early to get a bus.
Yeah,
right? That's the thing. You guys
have
that
to
want to
get
pull the bus
quick.
because they want to get their lunch, they want to get their coffee, and they're just screwing the rest of us.
Here's another thing for anyone listening. For anyone listening, if you got a headlight out, but it only works when you have the high beams on. Don't let them tell you to drive with the high beams on. That's a safety issue.
It's dangerous.
Do not take that bus.
You can cause an accident with that. Yeah, definitely.
And you'll be charged with an accident because you caused it.
Yep. Do you guys remember what Zariga said the timing for a pre-trip was?
Well,
wasn't it 10 minutes?
It's supposed to be 10 minutes, but in Manhattan they have like 15 minutes, depending on where the heroes.
Right. Between 10 to 18 minutes, right?
Yeah, it would take longer if you really want to do a pre-trip correctly. It would take longer than 10 minutes.
I mean, no offense. As long as you go down there and get your bus at your second half, the time that you're supposed to pull out, you get to the yard shack, you're considered on time.
Right, because I remember going down there on time.
Don't report early.
I remember going down to the shack on time to pull out, but between the timing to pull out and going down there, it's not enough time to really do a full pre-trip. So I remember bringing that up to the union before, saying, they told us we're supposed to have such and such time, but when we get down there, they want us to be out at this time, and that's not enough time to really do the full pre-trip. And that's going to make us cut corners.
Is it 10 minutes for all depots? Because I don't remember.
10 minutes.
Because when I was working out of Flatbush, and sometimes you had to walk to the yard, that's like walking to Gleason's sometimes, from the yard shack.
Yeah, the Avenue N yard.
All the way to the back, the Avenue N. It was be more than 10 minutes.
It's like half.
You would see guys rushing all the time, rushing just to get out on time.
But all the schedules, it's 10 minutes. Your report time and pull out time, 10 minutes.
So if I got to pull out at 12:30, I show up at 12:30 to the yard. That's
it. Show up 12:30. Take the walk down Angel's Way, which take you a minute or two. Walk down the stairs, all through there, get to the yard shack. You're got 5 minutes left for your pre-trip. Go out there, do your pre-trip, right? Like you're supposed to, right? Oh, remember, they have yard track. You forgot about that, right? We have yard track now that could tell when you're leaving late. And they come and they question you. Well, you've been pulling out late. What's going on? Well, I report at the shack on time. This is what's going on. I reported on time, right? Because there's no violation for me being late. I got to the yard shack on time. They gave me my bus. I have 4 minutes to pre-trip my bus. I'm pre-tripping my bus properly, checking all the flags, everything. Well, guess what? I'm pulling out late. You have a problem with it and you don't believe me, let's go to the cameras. Because remember, once we start those cameras are activated no matter what, even with the bus off. It's going to see you going around, checking your bus, checking the handrails, doing everything properly. How can they hurt you?
Exactly.
We're gonna need.
We got some hard-headed people that don't want to follow that. They're like on their own. Like I feel like sometimes this is people that came to this job from other jobs that were not union. So so therefore it's like it's about me. I just got to do this for me, and to hell with everybody else. I got to be out. I'm not gonna waste time. I have to, and they make everything work for MTA. So I'm like, whose side are you on? And then you're complaining. Why are you complaining when you're doing everything that helps them out, instead of the membership?
Listen, I was guilty as well. I'm not going to say I'm the innocent person here. I was guilty of it too. I hated pulling out late, have to go to the start of the line and leave there late. Because now my whole day is screwed up.
And nobody puts you in place.
Nobody puts you in place.
Especially in the morning, when you're picking up a bunch of school kids, and it's like, holy crap. So it gets to the point that you're like, nah, I got to be out of here early.
Here's another thing we want.
I got a couple of guys that they say they leave the depot 20 minutes early.
Here's another thing that we want to start.
No, just in the morning.
Pete, here's another thing we want to start. And this is going to be, every chair is going to be talking about this. Stop swinging with your bus. Stop swinging with your buses.
It's the difference between having 20 minutes or having 45 minutes.
I understand, my brother, but
and I start thinking about my license.
We're doing them a favor.
Not only ourselves, them. Yeah, but I'm thinking about my license. The more I'm out there driving, the biggest chance I have and get into an accident, right? So if I don't take that trip, going to the depot and then coming back.
Good excuse, Papa. Good excuse.
Okay. But I see, that's the thing. We got to get it all together. But
but
is this something?
There's
that's a hard one. Listen, I gotta say that's a hard one.
But think about it. Robert.
There's an easy way to fix your spring issue. Guess what? You pull back in, not a problem. Guess what? They give you 20 minutes, whatever it is. You blow part of your swing.
You take a personal.
Guess what? Go on your swing. Then when you come back, guess what? Now I'm gonna take a personal because you know what? I blew most of my swing. You
can't say I blew most of my swing.
Well, they're gonna know that anyway.
I just ate this and I gotta use the restroom.
Right through me.
Yeah. Had I had a longer swing, I would have had enough time to eat and go use the bathroom. Now,
you don't want to go out there and have a Hershey squirt.
Oh. What was that noise? What was that noise? Because it was perfectly done. What was that?
Sorry.
No, but seriously, that's another way to show the MTA what we do for them without them even asking us. If we all pulled in late, got our 20s, the lines would be horrendous. Now, granted, our followers and everybody's going to be upset and complain, but if they do the same, some way, somehow, they got to fix it. They got to give us more running time. They got to give us more runs out there. But we have to send a message, the right way, where they can't say, oh, you're doing a job action. They love that word.
Now they said puts that. We still have that it's 2 hours if you got a dirty uniform.
Be aware, you get 2 hours. You gotta go home and come back, even if it's at the end of your day. You still have to come back.
Oh yeah. I'm driving all shitty.
That's probably one of the things they're going to X back in this next. Oh, we don't want to do that anymore.
So we got 3 months for the contract, right? You think that not just the rookies, but mainly the rookies need to put in some OT so they could bank some time and some cash in case there is a strike. So
I would recommend it.
Hard, right?
I would recommend it.
Like the family fund.
Yeah, pad up your money now in case there's a strike and you won't get hit so hard now. You'll be able to strike.
I would recommend it wholeheartedly. I would recommend it. Take a day, put your RDO, put it all OTO time, cash out, whatever you got to do, stack up, because if it happens, We already been through it. We know what the deal is.
Well, can the
You know, and
union do that too?
at that time, we weren't even making this much money.
Can't
Exactly.
the union do that too? Which so, I
What's
mean,
that?
if the leaders of the membership are going to put us into a strike, let's say, where we're going to go against the Taylor law, shouldn't they be? Let me put some of this on the side for our members that are going to lose money.
They never did it before.
Yeah.
I mean, it was messed up when that happened. We still wound up having to pay the union dues, which I was like,
Yeah.
why? You put us in this predicament where we're losing money, you know, being on a strike, we're
Yep.
not bringing enough home, and then you still be like, well, you still got to pay your union dues.
I remember back in the 80s when they struck. My dad was on the job. He had a guaguita. And he would be on the picket line for a little while and then jump on the guaguita, take the people waiting for the train to the next stop and make money. Dollar van.
Huh?
Ideas.
I think when I was at the gentleman membership, I was with a couple of the drivers from Gleason and a couple of drivers from Alma Park, and everything that was said that day, I immediately turned to them. I said, "Oh my God, this is exactly what we're staring down. We're staring down 2005 again." And I said it that day, and I said to myself, "Oh my God."
I mean, I'm not ready, but if we have to do it,
we're gonna if that cut needs to be, then we have no choice.
But again, we don't have to. All we got to do is have the membership just follow the rules. Start with that.
That's it.
Yeah, you got to start with that.
That's it. It is so simple because remember, to the MTA, the public is so vital. They're so important, and they get everything over us. Complaints, they believe them before us.
Yeah.
So if we do everything by the book and those people start complaining, they're gonna have to do something.
Well, we do know that there's going to be probably a public rally. We need to turn around and flood the streets with 10,000 people. You know what? Out of a 35,000 or 40,000 member union or whatever it's up to now these days, we need 10,000 people to show up for that rally. At what I would assume it's going to be 2 Broadway at some point. You know.
Show up downtown, flood all Fulton Street, and disrupt traffic.
You can tell us that we can't stay at 2 Broadway. You know what? And do it not like at the end of the day, like they did the last couple of times. Guess what? Do it in the heart of the day. Guess what?
Morning rush.
Exactly. Screw some up. Maybe somebody actually will be at 2 Broadway. You know what? And get enough. You know,
somebody mentioned something. Somebody mentioned something, and in regards to trying to get the public on our side. Now, granted, there is a percentage of people who appreciate us, but that to me, that percentage is small. A lot of people were angry with us because we were still making money while they weren't during COVID, and they hold that against us.
Yeah,
the anger and everything you see on the roads now. So how do we sway them to back us up to get a better contract? If they, not all of them are on board, and some of them are really frustrated and angry.
Maybe treat them better.
A lot of people don't even understand that it's not just about money. When they see that you guys are striking, they automatically assume it's just because you guys want more pay, and they already think that the MTA stands for ATM. They already think that you guys are full of money. So it's like, oh, you guys are striking because you want more money. You know, it's like that's not the reason why we're striking. You know, it's only a small portion of it. There's other things that they're striking for.
There's a lot of other things.
To make them aware of it is a very difficult task to do because, I mean, unless they're on watching this show or maybe watching another social media show, it ain't like MTA running commercials to show them anything about us. They're gonna show them everything about them. You know, so it's like it's hard.
You want to build that. You know what? You can use the bus redesign to get the people on our side because the people are angry. The community boards are angry.
That's an idea.
You know what?
I was on this bus line a couple of weeks ago on the 43. On the 43, I saw little posters, little papers at bus stops. there's like a community thing going on. I don't know, Aaron, if you've known about it. I meant to bring it
the-
up. They were just saying MTA is planning on taking this bus stop off, sound off, and then it said like some address or some email. So they were like putting it all over the place, like to fight for the public, to fight on
Right.
them taking away these bus stops. So a lot of the public is against this whole redesign.
Was
of
that
the
in
bus
Greenpoint?
service?
Because
Yeah, that was actually in Greenpoint, but actually, just so you know,
Not a Greenpoint, yeah.
I just had my community board meeting last week, and I actually just had the MTA community board meeting this last Monday, and they're fighting. We're fighting mad. We're going to start putting posters on all our bus stops in Community Board 11, which will affect the 4, which will affect the 8. You're going to start seeing signs on all the, because you know what? Enough is enough. You know, the community blame. They say, oh, well, what is it? Oh, there's buses and too many buses together, but they don't understand why that is. On the 8th.
Yeah, they'll never understand. I mean,
No, but you gotta go out and reach out to the community board. I do it all the time. Actually, like I said, you know what? Go visit these local community boards. Guess what? In Gleason, you got a bunch of community boards. You know what? Take a few of your members on lunch. Guess what? Go visit them. Say, hey, listen, we're from Jackie Gleason Depot. You know what? We just wanted to come and show you here and tell you what's going on here so that you guys are aware. With the bus redesign, we don't want the bus redesign. We know how much it's going to affect you. How can we help you guys fight back against the bus redesign? You know what? Lobby Day. Lobby Day is coming up. Guess what?
yeah, it's a good thing you brought that up. I'm gonna put it up real quick. March 28th,
Tuesday.
Tuesday, March 28th.
We should have 1 million people trying to sit on February 27th.
And for more information, you could hit them up with the email right below.
But
local100.org.
like I said,
like Aaron, I'm already planning on going there. I already know what day I'm gonna put in to switch it. I'm going to lobby day. It'll be my first time ever going there because you know, Aaron, there's always been like a negative thing that goes on. And when I heard those things, I was like, why am I even gonna go?
well, that's been
That was Blunt's time.
I mean, no, that's
I still
been
we got pictures in the depot of him doing
Yeah.
in the last ones.
that's been highly misrepresented. There's a little misinformation going on there because I mean, a lot of the stuff is partially true, but in the beginning,
Allegedly.
it's mostly business. It's mostly business when you're going. Coming home, it's a different story, but going in.
But I think what a lot of their frustration of the members are is they do this as like a pep rally instead of actually using the time of the members correctly. You know what? Start scheduling groups to go see people. You know what? Instead of having everybody in the egg or wherever it is here for a pep rally, guess what? We need to turn around. Like I don't do when I go to lobby day. I don't do anything the union does. I go on my own. I know who I have to see and what and what the issues are.
So
You
maybe
know,
you
I've
should
actually
start
had-
growing a little group to go with you too.
I do. I actually do. Was
Okay.
the last time we went? Ulmer Park was the only one that was not in the egg. We all went to go see certain people. You know what? Gleason could do the same thing. Flatbush could do the same thing. I can plan it for every. You know.
Well, we
Who
could
you guys
start with
want
our
to see?
depot, doing the right thing in our depot. I'm thinking.
No, trust
You
me.
know,
I've already
and then-
I've already in my head scheduled. Okay, you know what? This is who we need to go.
Lead
talk
by
to.
example.
Well, when I went, the times that I went, God bless it, Gibson always had a plan for us. He would always have he'll break us down into groups and then he'll send us to certain law what do you call those people over there? The ones that sit up at the desks and stuff.
The
Cause
legislators.
Legislators, yeah. He had us he have certain groups go to certain legislators so that, you know, they're not bombarded with, you know, 5-15 of the same issues. So like I said, it was business when we went in the morning. But then coming home was just different.
Yeah, but the union as a whole. Actually, I didn't even know we had a political action director until the general membership meeting. I didn't know we had one because I know We had people that used to be attached to presidential candidates that they resigned at the time. I actually didn't even know that. I didn't even know her name, who was the political action person. They should be figuring this out right now. Okay.
Yeah, all that
Right.
stuff should be
Yeah,
well known
unfortunately,
by
it
now.
isn't.
Well, gentlemen, I mean, we could go on. We could go on. There's so much to talk about.
It's a lot of work that needs to be done.
Unfortunately, we come to the end of our time right now. For now, somebody posted before Aaron that it was your bedtime. You got to get up early tomorrow.
Yeah, I got half an hour left.
Okay, so we're gonna cut it here, and you guys could always return again, continue.
Absolutely.
Because
I'm assuming we're both going to want to do that.
Whittaker, we don't got to tell Whittaker twice. Whittaker, next time, don't send us a book of stuff to post. All right.
You should post all that stuff in your group.
Listen, real quick before we sign off, ladies and gentlemen, next Tuesday is our division meeting. Come on. It's time to motivate. It's time to move yourselves, to get involved. Come to the AM meeting, come to the PM meeting, speak your mind, let us know what you need. Let the division know what you want. It's time for us to show numbers. Let's go. And all you rookie guys, junior guys who have Mondays and Tuesdays off, Tuesday, Wednesday, sign up for the rally. Sign up for the rally. It's very important that you guys get involved. I can't say this enough. It's very important.
So
that's it.
The division meeting is going to be held where where it's going to be held at? So
195 Montague.
195 Montague Street in the hall.
Right.
What are the times again? One is at 6, right, at night.
Yeah, one's 11 a.m. and one's 6 p.m.
11 and 6. All right. And real quick, Whittaker, since we just throw this in for you real quick. Give you a little little plug.
I'm a local travel agent in the New York City area. I take care of people that want to travel. So I want to be very careful. I'm not violating any MTA law. But if you have something you guys want to go away and you guys need some help, by all means, I'll help you. I'm
creating memories for you through travel. Thank you for that, Aaron. Any last words, Aaron? Last words, we're about to.
No, not really. Like I just said before, I just hope we see numbers. I hope we see unity. Union is unity. Let's work together. No matter who you like, who you don't like, this is our fight together. Let's get this going.
Very well put.
And I guess that's it. We end with that.
Yep.
Well, that's it. I'm Broken Pete.
I'm your boy Blunt. It's Aaron.
Aaron Vasquez. Jackie Gleason, chairman.
And that's the end of our show.
Yep. Fuck them if they can't take a joke.
Till next time. Peace.